everybody. Welcome to the very first podcast of After Hours with TC Restani. Of course, I am TC Restani, and I'm not alone. I'm joined by none other than Col Montana. What's going on, Colonel?
Nothing. We just want to say hello there on this podcast, I believe it's called.
It's a podcast worldwide, all over the place. We're saying hi to all of our big-time fans out there who watch us religiously on tcrestani.com and all the channels all over these great United States. But now a little something different here, Colonel, a podcast. We've made it to the 21st century. What do you think about that?
Well, it's glad to see we got a podcast.
Unbelievable. He knows everything because he is the Colonel. Colonel, we got some big news to talk about here on our very first inaugural podcast. We got a big event coming up on July 16th, 2011. It's the Fan Appreciation BBQ with none other than special guest who?
Well, believe he's from Atlanta, Georgia, but he's originally from Iraq.
He's originally from Iran, but that's all right. You're talking about none other than the Iron Sheik, former World Wrestling Federation heavyweight champion, the man who won the dinner with Sabrina Champagne Kane a couple years ago, and last fall cooked his jabroni pepperoni pizza.
That's right. He cooked the jabroni pizza with you, Sabrina Champagne King, Dr. Murphy,
and Professor Infestation.
Yeah.
And if they want to see that clip, they can go to tcrestani.com and go to our media section. Then you get to see the actual clip of the Iron Sheik making his favorite jabroni pepperoni pizza with a special ingredient, none other than medicine, ladies and gentlemen. And that's going to be taking place on July 16th, 2011, right here at the TC studio at 4:30 p.m. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to attend this event, it is a Fan Appreciation BBQ, and we're going to be taping a show that night. You must RSVP. If you do not RSVP, you will not be allowed into the barbecue or attend the show that night. And it's real simple. Just RSVP at this email, tcbbq2011. That's tcbbq2011 at yahoo.com. Once again, tcbbq2011 at yahoo.com. RSVP, and you can come to the biggest shindig of the summer, the Fan Appreciation BBQ for After Hours. Now, Colonel, I've also been informed that we're doing a podcast right now, but we're going to be going back on internet radio. Unbelievable. Our friends over at Rare and Well Done, Susie Smooth and the Big Nez, invited us back on Wednesday, July 13th, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. on unregularradio.com. What do you think about that, Colonel?
I'll tell you, it's one of the best .com stations around.
It is the #1 internet radio.com station, unregularradio.com. I tip my hat out there to Susie Smoot and the Big Nez. We were back on there in March. I believe it was March 20-something or other. We were on there, and we stole the show and big-time ratings, and they want us back. And we're glad to go back on that program. Is that right, Colonel?
That's right, TC.
But I want to get a little sidetracked here. We had a passing, someone who was an inspiration to myself, and I know a long-time close personal friend of yours, Colonel Col Montana, the late, great Macho Man Randy Savage. What are your feelings about the Macho Man Randy Savage?
Well, oh yeah, brother, oh yeah.
Now, you did a wonderful tribute that was on my Facebook page there. It was a heartfelt 10-bell salute to the greatest professional wrestler of all time, the Macho Man Randy Savage. I mean, this man was an inspiration to me growing up. He snapped into Slim Jims. He put Elizabeth on his shoulder. He's a former 2-time WWF World Heavyweight Champion and probably most influential man in the history of professional wrestling.
TC, Dayton fans will know that Mr. Savage was a double-A baseball player with the New York Mets. He was a catcher.
Was he now? See, you learn something here every day, ladies and gentlemen. The Colonel over here is a fountain of information. He knows everything about everything in the world. Now, you're telling me the Macho Man Randy Savage was a catcher before he was Macho Man Randy Savage.
That's right.
Unbelievable. That's fantastic. Also, we have to make an announcement here. None other than the night of the barbecue. Colonel, it's going to be a very emotional night on the program. Of course, the Iron Sheik will be there. We had the barbecue earlier that day, but it's going to be the first ever Hall of Fame for After Hours. We're going to be inducting 3 individuals into the After Hours Hall of Fame. Now, I have 2 of the 3 individuals that we're going to announce tonight. Of course, one of them, you have to do it. He is the man. He is the one and only. The Iron Sheik, ladies and gentlemen, will be inducted into the After Hours Hall of Fame. Colonel, what do you think about that?
Well, it's a great for that fine gentleman.
And another person that's going to be inducted that night who was on our very first episode. He is no longer with us, ladies and gentlemen, but he's always with us in spirit. The one and the only, Mr. Miyagi himself, Pat Morita, will be inducted into the After Hours Hall of Fame. What do you think about, what's your opinion on that there, Colonel?
Bonsai.
Bonsai. Well said there, Colonel. Colonel, and the third person that's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, we're going to leave that for a surprise for that evening. Who knows? It could be someone from the audience. It could be a former past guest. Or it could be someone, who knows? You never know, Colonel. Yeah. We do know it's not going to be you. Yeah. Even though you are a Hall of Famer for, what, the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame?
That's right, New England Hall of Fame.
Unbelievable. You already are a Hall of Famer. Well, we're going to wrap this podcast up. So let me break this down to brass tacks once again. The barbecue is taking place on July 16th, 4:30 p.m. RSVP only. You can only get in that way. TCBBQ2011 at yahoo.com if you want to be part of the biggest shindig of all time. And, of course, you can always check us out at tcrestani.com. I'm TC Restani along with
the legendary Col Montana.
And this is After Hours, and we what, Colonel?
We never close.
We never close.